Hello everyone, it's Tani Games here. Welcome back to the channel. We're here with a bit of a partial speed build. Some of it's already pre-established. You may have seen in one of my previous builds that I did for the Wilted flower cottage house. I did this build in the Sunlit Plateau, but I've decided to mix it up a bit and add in the Halloween cottage. I knew as soon as I saw the leaks for this, I knew I wanted these two houses like together. So we did get this house in the premium shop, and I'm finally getting around to decorating it and readjusting my Sunlit Plateau. So I do swap the places. So I put this one here at the front, and I put the Wilted flower cottage towards the back. I just felt it worked a bit better, and what I particularly liked was the fact that I could have this house sort of almost on its side, if that makes sense. So when you actually walk up to the house, you see the side of the house, but because of the door on the side, it almost looks like the front of the house. And then you can walk around the side and then get to the main front entrance. I just thought it was kind of a cool idea to kind of almost have this house that you could see if you came down from the Forgotten Lands, but also coming up from the Sunlit Plateau as well. So that's something that was sort of important to me in terms of establishing this build and this layout. I do actually keep the orb here, which actually my plan is to move most of the orbs into the Glade of Trust, because when I did my first ever fairy core build, which was a fairy core inspired Glade of Trust, I used all these orb pillars there, and I did a circle formation to create this kind of almost like fairy circle of the orbs, and I very much want to do that again. So I may change this out, maybe just do a foliage centerpiece, perhaps a fountain of some sorts and things like that. I do try and keep this build very natural. We use a lot of trees and bushes. There is the right side of the build towards the Forgotten Lands that I do leave kind of bare at the moment, mainly for sort of accessing the mining points and stuff like that. So I will slowly add some foliage in there. But another thing that I am waiting on is the next DLC to come to the game. So we've been getting a lot of teasers for that. Obviously the showcase is coming up, and I think there's going to be a lot of foliage pieces in that I'm going to want to introduce into this build. So I have left a bit of space there just as a reminder and just as a way of adding in that extra space, because we are limited in a lot of our trees and foliage options. So I'm really hoping that this new DLC will bring a lot more foliage that I can introduce into this build just to make it a little bit better and a little bit stronger. As I said, I do want to keep it quite natural. I just think it fits with the actual houses themselves. It sort of works with the kind of like sort of fairy core or witch core elements, because I feel like we've kind of got a mix of both in here. Obviously we've got the Wilted flower house in the back, and then we've got the Halloween sort of inspired cottage at the front, which really feels like a witch's cottage. So yeah, kind of mixing both of those vibes and themes and things like that. My my item limit count is getting up there. We are like shortly approaching the almost like the 5,000 item limit part, and I have not finished the glade yet. I have not done the beach, and I technically still have to finish the the Frosted Highs. My Forgotten Lands sort of is finished. There is something that I want to add to my build, but I'm struggling to figure out what that is. But we are getting to the point in my valley that I've got so many items that actually I sometimes feel a little bit of lag. And now I don't know if that's partially to do with the fact that the game auto saves every minute now, and so like it buffers because of that, or if it is because of the item limit, but I'm definitely feeling a lot more lag these days. Definitely feeling that. I do a little kind of like seating area for the Wilted flower house. I do use the campfire and stuff like that, so I wanted to create kind of like a scene that maybe perhaps people gather around there and hang out. So I moved that because originally that was part of the original Wilted flower house build when it was towards the front, and I wanted to kind of move it to the back and make it look like a garden. There are a few sort of extra bits and bobs, like there's an outhouse, there's some crates and stuff like that. Like I imagine perhaps the person who lives there, perhaps they're quite magical, perhaps they sell some spells and they, you know, forage in nature for the ingredients or sell them and stuff like that. That's sort of the story that I'm kind of going with in my head. I just think it ties into that kind of autumnal feel and that sort of magical feel and things like that. So yeah, that was the reasoning behind that. I do also do a seating area as well with the Halloween cottage, but a much smaller one. I'm imagining maybe the person who lives there, maybe they're a bit more secluded or something. I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of the overall vibes that I was going for with that. I also do a sort of a painting area. I set up this little waterfall scene, and I just thought maybe it'd be nice to add in like Rapunzel's easel there and stuff like that. Just kind of make it feel like a nature kind of vibe area. Perhaps someone was there painting the scene and things like that. And I do also use Nala's waterfall as well, but that's on the other side of the Sunlit Plateau basically, or the other side of the pond I should say, because technically this is all built on one side of the Sunlit Plateau. So my Sunlit Plateau is slowly getting there, it's almost finished. But yeah, I kind of wanted to create a lot of nature spots, really kind of relaxing, calm environments. So I do add in a couple of like benches as well, just as like points where someone might sit down and relax and things like that. So I hope the vibes of that definitely come across. I do love this. I am enjoying how my valley's coming together in terms of these fairycore inspired builds. I love that each area kind of feels unique. Every biome feels different to me, and I definitely think once we get the DLC, being able to add in some new foliage to this area, especially if we get a lot of the red foliage that we are seeing in the teasers, I think that is going to be a major improvement to this biome. Honestly, I think that's another reason why I love getting DLCs and things like that, or like a couple of characters or new universes, is I just like the idea that they're adding in new kind of furniture pieces, new foliage pieces and stuff like that that I can decorate with. Because for me, decorating is such a huge part of this game. I know it's not the case for everyone, but I feel for me, I feel like a lot of the stories, the kind of actual narrative part of the storytelling and stuff like that is generally fairly short. So I'm kind of like focusing on decorating and things like that. So for me, the decorating is such a big part of it that I just treasure getting all the new items, because I feel like it adds new life to the game and to the valley as well. So that's just like a important thing for me. But obviously, if you're not big on decorating, that's totally fine. You play this game as you want. That is totally your prerogative, basically. I'm never going to tell anyone that they're playing the game wrong or anything like that. Definitely play it in the way that makes you have the most enjoyment from it and stuff like that. And for me, that is decorating, because otherwise I don't think I'd know what else I could do in this game after doing all the story quests. But I know there are people out there that love playing with like the touch of magic and other things like that, whereas that's just not something that I do a lot of. So yeah. But anyway, we are shortly going to be coming towards the end of this video. I do have a speed build, not a speed build. I do have a walkthrough for you all at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that so you can sort of see how it looks and everything like that. You can sort of see it at that lower level. I know when I'm doing speed builds, it can go quite fast. It can be hard to see the different things that I'm doing and stuff like that. So obviously, feel free to stick around for the walkthrough so you can focus on those smaller details. I do want to just say a huge thank you to all my subscribers, to anyone that likes and comments on my videos. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you all being here, and yeah, it just means a lot. So thank you to everyone who likes, comments, to my subscribers, and a huge shout out to my channel members, because you are all absolutely amazing people, just the most wonderful people on earth. So thank you so much for your support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, because I do post Disney Dreamlight Valley content regularly. I do also on occasion play other cozy games, so if you are interested in seeing that, it's worth sticking around on the channel as well. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope this build has given you some inspiration for your own valleys. So do take care, and I will see you all in the next one.